If we all took complete and absolute responsibility for our life and everything that happens in it, who's going to take the blame? Hi, thank you for joining me on this video today. My name is Sonika Chopra. I'm a life coach, a personal counselor, and a workshop speaker. I hope this video finds you happy, healthy, blessed, and safe. The reason I laughed out loud is because it's true. All of us love to call ourselves victims or see ourselves as victims, and we don't like it if anybody says that we can take absolute and complete responsibility for what is going on in our life and how it's turning out to be, including the people, situations, and circumstances in it. All this because I think there's a basic dysfunction in how our society works today. There is great value placed on somebody who's a victim. Oh, bichara, poor thing. He has such a difficult boss. He has such a difficult wife. My God, how does he keep his peace? Oh, so sad. He's got cancer. She's so unwell. She's developed diabetes. Poor thing. But on the other hand, if somebody told you that we need to take complete responsibility for everything that's happening in our life, I know you want to slap me, because obviously who wants to give themselves diabetes and who wants to give themselves cancer? But if you give me 2 minutes of your time and an open mind, I might just create a little doubt in your head, and I think that would be a start. A lot of us know about the law of attraction and how what's within us is attracting what's outside of us. A lot of people don't realize, and a lot of people don't have the information that but the law of attraction is also an often misunderstood concept. I have simplified how it works for me, and that's exactly what I'm sharing with you. So basically, it's a known fact that our mind is divided into a conscious mind and a larger part, which is the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is about 10%, the subconscious is 90%. So if we believe in the law of attraction and we believe that everything that happens in our life, whether it is the kind of people, the situation, or circumstances in it, are a direct and accurate and exact reflection of what is going on in the mind, the problem is that we think our mind is only that part of that mind which is working while we are awake, which is only 10% the conscious mind. What we don't realize is there is also 90% of the subconscious mind, and most of the subconscious mind thoughts we don't even know about. So in an overtly simplistic way, how does the law of attraction work? Let's imagine this is my mind and there are lots of spots in it: black spots, purple spots, blue spots, gray spots, silver spots, golden spots. And what is going on outside the mind is an exact and accurate reflection of what's going on inside our mind. So for example, if Sonika is a person who's surrounded by very loving family members and very loving friends and very loyal people who would lay down their lives for her benefit, that means they are a reflection of the golden or the silver or the pure white spots that Sonika carries in her mind. Similarly, if Sonika is faced with a boss who hates her guts despite the fact that she's a hardworking, dedicated, talented person, it's clearly a reflection of the black spot within us. Similarly, we have brown spots and gray spots and purple spots that all work differently, and they all reflect in the people, situations, and circumstances in our life. The unfortunate part is I can only be conscious of the black and the purple and the red and the gray and the silver and the gold spots, which are part of my conscious mind, which I am conscious about. What I don't know is that the subconscious mind also has many number of and many colors of spots. Now the subconscious mind spots are also working like magnets. So what's happening in my external life is also a reflection of those spots which are in the subconscious. Now if I'm not conscious of my subconscious mind itself, how would I become conscious of the spots or the colors that they hold? But the unfortunate part is the magnets of my conscious mind and the magnets of my subconscious mind, they are all at work, and they are bringing to me the people, situations, and circumstances in my life. So I will go so far as to say that if Sonika has a really nasty boss who does not change his or her ways despite anything that she might bring to the table, it is a fact that that boss is reflecting one black spot which lies within Sonika's mind or within Sonika's subconscious mind. So it serves her well to figure out what exactly is working against her. For example, Sonika could be 3 or 4 or 5 years old, and while she is hard at work, at play, she's making little rotis with her toys, and older friend comes along. She's maybe 14 or 15, and she says, you know, however hard you work, you're such an idiot. You don't deserve to be the queen of this house. Get out. I'm going to take over your place. And little Sonika does not question that judgment because she is so little, 3 or 4, and the elder one who is passing such a statement is so much more grown up. Little Sonika takes this sentence as the word of God, as complete truth. So regardless of how hard I work, I am never going to be the queen of the house, or I will never be appreciated, becomes a belief system that Sonika holds in her mind, and then her subconscious mind, obviously, because when she is 25 years old and when she is not appreciated by a boss, she is not aware that she is holding a belief system for the past 22 years which does not serve her. That belief system is, however hard I work, I can never be the queen of this house. However hard I work, I'll never be appreciated, loved or cared for what I do or what I bring to the table. So this is a belief system embedded deep in her subconscious mind, and now this belief system, clearly a negative belief system, has become a black spot in her subconscious mind. And when she's faced with a boss like this, everybody calls her a poor victim. Bechari Sonika, she's such a hard worker. Bechari Sonika, she's so intelligent, she's so talented, she's so creative, and yet she never gets that promotion that she's going after, and yet the boss never praises her, and yet everybody else seems to be getting on better in life except her. She doesn't seem to get a raise, she doesn't seem to get appreciation. Why on earth is she even working? Why doesn't she get married and settle down and have a different life? What they don't realize is Sonika could give up that job and get married and settle down and have babies, but when she's working hard for the family or for society or for anybody around her, she is going to still carry that same magnet in her subconscious mind, and however hard she works for her family or for society, she's always going to be seen in the same way. She's never going to be appreciated, she's never going to be treated well, because the only thing she's going to receive in return for her hard work is going to be a lack of appreciation, and that is not because of the external people around her, but because of the belief system she carries. I hope this is simple enough for everyone to understand. It sounds very simple, it may be complicated, but the more we simplify facts of life, the better off we will be. And no, it is not easy for me to say these things. I'm not just saying them reading out of a book, I'm saying them from personal experience, and the reason I can say it so confidently is because I have applied these techniques in my mind, in my life, and I have seen the changes firsthand. So no, I haven't become a magician, and I haven't developed this technique of opening up my mind and checking out which are the black spots and the white spots and the brown spots and fixing them there and there like a surgeon. What I have understood is that the way I can figure out what my spots are, how deep, how dark, how pure, how white, how crystal clear they are, and the only way to see what color these spots are and what type they are is to see what is happening in our lives. For example, when life is throwing its usual challenges at me, including giving me difficult people, situations or circumstances, I do not stop to check, hello, what's wrong with this person? Hello, why is this situation happening to me? Why me? Why am I chosen to go through this hell? Instead of doing all that, I start asking myself, what is it within me? What is the spot within me which is attracting whatever it is attracting? So if there is a person who, despite all my hard work and talent, is unable to see what I'm capable of or what I bring to the table, it is my prerogative. Dive deep into myself and check, what is it within me? Is there a belief system that doesn't serve me, but it's there? Is there a part of me which is absolutely against me, and this other person is reflecting that to me? Is there a part of me that is self-sabotaging, and that is what this other person on the outside in my life is mirroring to me? When I ask these questions with time, I have developed the ability and the training of my mind to such a degree that I'm able to more or less all the time figure out what it is within me that's bothering me. And when I fix that, automatically by the law of attraction, what is outside changes itself without any effort. I know it sounds like an esoteric concept, but to cut a long story short, keep life simple. Simplify everything. Hold your mind responsible for everything that's happening in your life. If your career or your finances or your success or your relationships or even the trajectory of your life is not going just the way you had imagined it, it might serve us to stop ourselves, stop putting in all that hard work, all that effort, all that energy, and actually stop to ask ourselves, is there a part of us that is already sabotaging what we really want? The law of attraction works for those people who get it right. The law of attraction works for those people who believe in it, and the law of attraction has the power to give us exactly what we want as long as we keep ourselves out of the way. And yes, it doesn't serve us anymore to call ourselves victims, to put victimhood on a pedestal. It serves us tremendously to take the responsibility of our lives in our own hands. Yes, even diseases like pains and aches and ailments, and to a very large extent, very, very serious diseases, are the manifestation of very, very negative thought patterns, which are conscious or subconscious. I'm not saying that you've been a negative person and then you've got cancer. A lot of people can hold me responsible for saying this by saying that I did not invite this cancer. I've been a happy-go-lucky person. But just the fact that you look like a happy-go-lucky person does not ensure that your mentality, the fabric of your mind, has been positive, self-loving, self-nurturing in an emotional way. I'm not saying take this as the absolute truth. I'm saying please allow me to introduce a concept which may not sound very common, or it may sound a little esoteric, but I know this works for a fact because it has worked in my life. And whatever has worked in my life, I find it's almost a duty of mine to help share this information, so that even if one person benefits from it, my effort of making this video would have proved worth. So I request you right now, whether you're going through a divorce, a difficult breakup, difficult children, difficult parents, difficult bosses, life situations, allow yourself to give one moment of introspection and find out if there is a part of you that is against you. Get out of your own way, get your own self out of the way, and see how magically a lot of changes might happen in your life, in people who surround you, in the situations that you find yourself stuck in, and actually create magic, the magic that you always desired. And one of the tips on doing this right is to monitor our thoughts. We monitor everything and everybody. We monitor our children, we monitor our parents, we monitor our neighbors, our friends, social media, we monitor complete strangers on social media. But the one thing that we forget to monitor is the quality of our thoughts. The more negatively we think, the lower we vibrate is the frequency at which we are inviting trouble in our lives. The higher we vibrate, the more in alignment we get with exactly who we are and where we are going. And we can invite easily everything that we are looking for. All the kind of relationships that are beautiful for us, all the kind of career prospects that are perfect for us, all the kind of money that we really, really want, all the kind of achievement and success and peace that we are looking for. So give my thoughts a little leeway, give them a little chance to enter a little part of your mind. Don't throw them out yet. Chew on this piece of information, roll it around in your head, and if it doesn't serve you, by all means throw it. But if it does, I will be grateful. Hi guys, thank you for joining me on this video today. As usual, I love it when you send your comments, when you give me feedback. I love it because I am new to this. I'm not perfect at this and I'm trying to get better. And when you comment and tell me what is it about my videos that I can increase or improve or reduce, I know that I'm getting better every single video that I create. Follow me on this channel by subscribing, give me a thumbs up, and I hope to see you at one of my seminars, my workshops, or my counseling sessions. And if by any stroke of luck I never cross paths with you, I wish you a wonderful life.